Am I audible to you? You show me a thumbs up. Okay. Is there any background noise? Okay. Oh. प्रातः स्मरामि हृदि संस्फुरदात्मतत्त्वम् सच्चित् सुखं परमहं सगतिं तुरीयम् यत्स्वप्नजागरसुषुप्तमवैति नित्यम् तद्ब्रह्म निष्कलमहं न च भूतसङ्गः तपोभिक्षीणपापानां शान्तानां वीतरागिणाम् मुमुक्षूणामपेक्षोऽयम् आत्मबोधो विधीयते बोधोऽन्यसाधनेभ्यो हि साक्षान्मोक्षैकसाधनम् पाकस्य वह्निवज्ञानम् विना मोक्षो न सिद्ध्यति. We'll chant from verses 16 to 20. Verse number 16 to 20 of chapter 5. Wow, we are racing through chapter 5. ज्ञानेन तु तदज्ञानम् येषां नाशितमात्मनः तेषामादित्यवज्ञानम् प्रकाशयति तत्परम् ज्ञानेन तु तदज्ञानम् येषां नाशितमात्मनः तेषामादित्यवज्ञानम् प्रकाशयति तत्परम् तद्बुद्धयस्तदात्मानः तन्निष्ठा तत्परायणाः गच्छन्त्य पुनरावृत्तिम् ज्ञाननिर्धूतकल्मषाः तद्बुद्धयस्तदात्मानः तन्निष्ठास्तत्परायणाः गच्छन्त्य पुनरावृत्तिम् ज्ञाननिर्धूतकल्मषाः विद्याविनयसम्पन्ने ब्राह्मणो गविहस्तिनि शुनि चैव श्वपाके च पण्डिताः समदर्शिनः विद्याविनयसम्पन्ने ब्राह्मणे गविहस्तिनि शुनिश्चैव श्वपाके च पण्डिताः समदर्शिनः इहैव तैर्जितः सर्गः येषां साम्ये स्थितं मनः निर्दोषं हि समं ब्रह्म तस्माद् ब्रह्मणि ते स्थिताः इहैव तैर्जितः सर्गः येषां साम्ये स्थितं मनः निर्दोषं हि समं ब्रह्म तस्माद् ब्रह्मणि ते स्थिताः न प्रहृष्येत् प्रियं प्राप्य नोद्विचेत् प्राप्य चाप्रियम् स्थिरबुद्धिरसम्मूढः ब्रह्मविद् ब्रह्मणि स्थितः न प्रियश्रेप्रियः प्राप्य नोद्विजेत् प्राप्य चाप्रियम् स्थिरबुद्धिरसम्मूढः ब्रह्मविद् ब्राह्मणि स्थितः. Okay. Hari Om everyone.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, everyone.
I hope there's no background noise.
Hari
No background noise, right? Okay, great. Only,
Hari
only I
Om.
have to suffer the background noise. Thanks to this technology, you don't hear a background noise, but there's a background noise. But anyway, okay.
How's your finger?
My finger, it's fractured.
Oh my.
Good.
So I've got a chip on my, the bone is chipped.
What were you doing?
I was playing cricket. So,
क्रिकेट खेलने में चिप हो गई है मुझे
मेरा भी सेम ऐसी था विलास का
इंदु जी आपका भी सेम ऐसे ही था, आपने भी क्रिकेट खेला गया?
ये बोल रही है
हाँ?
ना इसका भी not playing cricket doing something else
तो सेम नहीं था ना, कुछ और था.
we are at Charulata's place in Delhi.
Okay.
We've just come yesterday from the academy.
Okay, wonderful.
Hmm.
So my wife is saying no more cricket for you. You please pick a sport which loves you back. Those were her words. Because cricket doesn't love me back. Neither do I play well enough to, say anything in public about my performance. Nor does it help my body. So anyway, my finger is injured. Not me. That's the attitude we should have. We should have to keep it straight. It's funny, I'm a little afraid. I won't be able to bend it after I keep it straight. I just opened it from the cast and then I'm like, oh, I'm so used to keeping it straight now within like 3 days. So if you've been through a finger injury, please let me know if I can straighten it later because right now it feels like the I can't straighten it. Anyway, are there any questions?
I have a question not related to your class. It's related to Maharishi Ramanujam. I've sent you that video, 1 hour, 12 minutes. Highly recommended to all in this group. There, they talk about his having been buried, and his mother was buried. Was burial the norm during those days?
I really don't know. I don't know. And, within certain traditions, within certain cultures, and, within the several sort of even certain castes and jatis, right? People do practice burial, but I really haven't paid much attention as to why that was the norm for certain things.
Thank
So
you.
I
No
won't be
problem.
able to comment on that. Yes, Rashmi ji, fastest finger first.
Sir, I have a question from verse 14.
Okay.
It says that the supreme reality, Brahman, is the very substratum to all activities, whether sinful or virtuous. And then something like even the virtuous who are mindful also have also get affected. So what was it about? Like I was listening to your class just now because I missed it last time. So in this context only you said something about even the sinful and the virtuous both are it's written now that the supreme reality is a substratum of all activities, whether sinful or virtuous. So the Brahman this is something which I'm getting very confused at. I don't know whether you've understood my question because I'm confused.
No, but where is this written? Can you just
It's
tell me which paragraph?
verse 15, the first paragraph.
Verse 15. Okay.
The supreme reality is a very substratum for all, whether sinful or virtuous. Normally, it would be responsible only for the virtuous. That was what I would understand.
The Lord neither accepts the sin nor even the virtue of anyone. Knowledge is veiled by ignorance. Beings are thereby deluded. So we were talking in terms of what is delusion. Peeling this back, what is the concept out here? What is the concept in Vedanta we're talking about? Tattvamasi, that thou art. You are that Atman. You're not this body, you're not this mind, you're not this intellect. You are the Atman enveloped by these layers of material equipments, which have been born out of avidya, ignorance. Ignorance of your reality creates the imagination of this ego, this individual, with these individual material attributes. No sooner than you realize your real self, then this dissolves. So, your delusion, my delusion, is this individuality. And we are holding on to this idea of I, me, my, whether we have good qualities or bad qualities, whether we have sinful qualities which cause agitation not only to ourselves but to others, or we have virtuous qualities which create positivity everywhere. Good person, bad person, sinful person, virtuous person, regardless of what the qualities, the gunas, this very idea of individuality is an illusion. So in this context, we said empty thyself, right? Empty yourself, and God will arrive. God will reveal himself to you. So perhaps in that context, I said that you are deluded regardless of whether you are
Simple.
sinful in terms of having negative qualities, selfish nature, attached, entangled, completely, you know, caught up, or you're virtuous, you are unselfish, you have the welfare of others in mind. So while while unselfishness is the stepping stone to spiritual evolution, no doubt, no doubt. If you're selfish, you can't become selfless. If you're selfish, you can't become enlightened overnight. Unselfishness is a stepping stone. And if you can develop an unselfish nature, you're far better than 99% people in this world. You'll fall into the 99 percentile. But to fall into that 100 percentile, that enlightenment, you have to go beyond virtue as well, right? So this is only highlighting that the Lord is the same in a sinful person or in a virtuous person. And the Atman has nothing to do with sin or with virtue. Sin and virtue are all a play of Prakriti, your nature, your gunas. And Prakriti, gunas come from vasanas. Vasanas are born out of ignorance. Ignorance of the reality, non-apprehension of the reality creates the misapprehension of the individual and the world. That's the concept he's trying to explain out here. If you understood, good. If you don't understand, we'll try again.
No, one thing is, the thing is that basically you have to first be aware of yourself, of your own individual issues, and then go beyond, then correct it, and then try and then transcend that. Isn't that
No, if you want to see it that way, but after a point, there's no end to
correct? Self-correct.
individual issues. So long as you have, so long as you have an individuality, you will have certain deficiencies. It will be an admixture. There'll never be a situation where there'll be no issues. And detachment to both pleasure and pain, detachment to what's working for you and what's not working for you is what is essential for evolution. Once you see your own life from the pulpit, from the vantage point of the Atman within, when you're able to smile gracefully at the good and also accept gracefully the not so good, right? That's when you are standing firm on the stage is set for the next journey, the deeper inner journey, right?
Thank you. I
Yeah.
understand.
Yes, Ankit.
So I have a question in a similar area. I mean, you say that there's no for the self, there's no preference for either virtue or for sin. But then there are certain qualities that move us closer to the state of realizing the self, which are virtuous in nature. And it seems like some people in other areas, in other disciplines, speak of a universal consciousness operating, which moves us closer to like which rewards God. And even in the Vedanta, we speak in a different time that the most conducive environment is given to us constantly uh, to sort of realize ourselves. So then,
The
by
most what environment?
conducive,
Conducive environment. Okay.
so it seems like there's an underlying preference for gravitating towards goodness, right? So then, yeah, then why do we call the consciousness or the self neutral?
No, I don't think there is a underlying preference for helping everyone gravitate towards goodness. I actually don't think that. And the statement which you said that everyone is best, the situation is best conducive for uh,
They grow.
your own growth, doesn't mean that only good things happen, right? Or doesn't mean that it's only nudging you towards goodness. What if you see that same statement from a very neutral lens? What you will realize is that experiences, be they good or bad, experiences, be they entangling or liberating, right? Like a financial soup, like a family conflict, like some kind of crisis at work. I'm just giving an example, right? They're not necessarily good things. Or a lot of success, a lot of fame. Hmm? You become a celebrity. It almost seems like the world is catering to your desires, right? Now, if you look at it from the lens of worldly attachment, that may seem like a great thing. If you see it from the lens of uh, a person, a sannyasi, it'll seem like a pointless thing. But if you see it from the perspective of a neutral observer, you'll realize that that experience is what is meant for them. It's neither gravitating towards good or gravitating towards bad. What will gravitate towards good or bad will be the choices you make in those circumstances. But those circumstances are appropriate for where you are currently. That's all we're saying, right? Gravitating towards good or bad will totally depend on your choice of action. So it's not that nature is nudging you towards enlightenment. Your own choices are nudging you towards enlightenment. Either you're taking the long and winding path, right? It's almost like you're taking a boomerang, moving away and then coming back. See, the very See, you will get detached either through knowledge or through experience. Detached you will get. And if you don't get mentally detached, life will forcefully physically detach you. Hmm? Life will take away the things from you that you are attached to, one way or the other, sooner rather than later. We all wish it is later, right? We all wish it is later. Nobody out here wishes that, whatever we are dependent on, materially, emotionally, is taken away from us. But life has a way of taking it away from us. Either it will take us away from them or take them away from us, one way or the other. So, e detachment through experience is painful, and it's not even necessarily permanent. You know, Mm, that desire in you to reconnect or rejoin or get back to it, and you'll find your way back to. But detachment through experience is also people have a lot of resentment. Huh? People get tired of things. People get bugged by things. You detach out of frustration. These are all detachment through frustration. But detach you will. So that doesn't mean that nature is necessarily helping you gravitate towards evolution. The very nature of experience is evolution. Either that evolution is straightforward, rarely is, but it's possible. That's the power of knowledge. It's like a teleportation almost, you know, or it's like a beautiful Mitsubishi elevator. You know, Mitsubishi elevator? We have a Mitsubishi elevator in our office. You get on the second basement. Before you blink, you're on the fourth floor. It's beautiful. And the doors open so swiftly, this is close so swiftly. It's not too fast, but it's perfect. Anyway, I'm digressing. The idea is that sometimes evolution can be like that, like a Mitsubishi elevator, through knowledge. It's like a epiphany. You call it an epiphany, right? And for a lot of us, we have to go through the sort of long winding path of a multitude of experiences. Whether you're ready for knowledge or not totally depends on your state of being, right? So evolution is the very nature of experience through trial and error or through the grace of knowledge. If you are ready and willing to listen, and you know, but there's no such preference. You can be in Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam, Punarapi Janani Jatareshana. Again birth, again death, again birth, again death, again birth, again death. Right? Um, the rare few who have liberated themselves are screaming in with conviction, hey, get yourself out, get yourself out. But for most of us, we are as lost as we were earlier. We just have better and nicer things around us. We just have perhaps a better standard of life around us. But evolutionarily, it's debatable. Are we actually more evolved or not? So, short answer to your question after a very long explanation is that it's not necessarily true that there is a um, you know sort of conspiracy by some
Convict.
god that is helping you. But also, what you have to understand is that this is not like an eternal hellhole,
Okay.
right? And that's the beauty of knowledge. As they say, you can gain enlightenment in as much time as it takes for a pinprick to pierce a rose. Hmm? The amount of time it takes for a pin to pierce a rose, how long does it take? It's immediate. So when the fruit is ripe, it'll automatically fall off. When you prepare yourself adequately, even a little bit of knowledge can sort of help you wake up to the reality. And then they sages compare the experience of enlightenment to waking up from a dream. And what's your experience of waking up from a dream? You immediately realize that it was short-lived and it never happened, you know. Whilst you were dreaming, you were carrying all that baggage with you, and God knows what your mental state was. But you were imagining a life you have lived for 30, 40, 50 years in the dream world. The moment you woke up, you realized it never happened, you know. So, so it's not that there's a conspiracy by nature to help you evolve or help you get enlightened. But at the same time, this nature, this world itself is an illusion. And when you wake up, you realize it never happened, you know. So that core truth sits within you. When you see it, you'll almost feel as if This was meant to happen. I was meant to wake up,
Huh.
you know?
So,
So we're all meant to wake up sooner rather than later.
yeah, so that's what I'm getting at. If you're meant to wake up, then there's a sort of preference. I don't know, like if you don't call it nature, there's some preference inside of us to sort of move us in that direction to wake up, right?
Well, isn't it? Isn't all your experiences a nudge towards that? What are you looking for?
Hmm.
You may not verbalize it. You may not. You may not articulate it. You may not question it too much. But each of us is looking for something, and everything we point at, we assume it's exactly that what we're looking for. When we get it, we realize, oh, no, 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 I want more, right? So we're all searching for something intangible which we can't really comprehend. What we're searching is, and what Vedanta says is, what you're looking for is to wake up. That's what you're looking for. You're just playing the fool with trying to aggrandize and accumulate and give yourself the illusion of enjoyment. Hmm. Your body actually doesn't need that much. Your mind doesn't need that much. Don't entangle yourself unnecessarily and distract yourself too much. What you're actually looking for is to wake up. So that's the message of Vedanta. It articulates our own search for us, right? Now, you want to call that a preference or not? I don't know if there's because see, the idea that oh, there's some third entity which is nudging us. Hey, hey, Ankit, wake up. You know, questionable. I don't know. I hope there is. I hope there's something looking out for me, right? See, we seek solace in a God. We seek solace in a higher power that's looking out for us, right? And nothing to take away from that sort of solace. Um, there's a word called anthropomorphic,
Hmm.
right? Make human-like.
Yeah.
To make this higher power more human-like, we have given it a human form. Who
Hmm.
said God looks like a human? Ah, okay, to make it more superhero-like, we've given it multiple hands. You know? But the underlying fact, and even our scriptures tell us, Lord tells us, God helps those who help themselves, right? Whatever God is, whatever God is. So, so um, some part of my mind is uh, is deeply reassured if there is some third entity which is watching out for me and nudging me towards a higher experience. But ultimately, the buck stops with me, right? Ultimately, the buck stops with you. You have to nudge yourself to a higher experience. It's the choices you make in that experience that will help you evolve or remain entangled or stagnant or even devolve, right? I don't know if that answer. See, there's no one straightforward answer to your question. This is the very reason that humans have created the idea of God. You know?
Yeah,
Um,
so instead of a third entity, a lot of people believe in like sort of formless universal consciousness or even a sort of bigger guy within their own guy, which is like sort of okay. But
I
yeah,
don't think you'll hear it from a Vedantin teacher. It almost might sound blasphemous coming from, and I don't say I disbelieve. It's not a question of believe or not believe,
mm,
right? But one of the things that draws me towards Vedanta is the Lord Himself saying, lift yourself by yourself. Uddhared Atman Atman, right? So, so
yeah.
So from what you said about attachment and things being taken away or you letting go of things, so do you mean that when something or someone is taken away from you, you were supposed to be, you were meant to be detached from it? if it's a permanent kind of a thing.
No, I don't. I don't. We don't necessarily mean that when we say that. You know, I mean, these are all sort of suppositions we can create in our head, but nothing comes into your life with a permanent guarantee,
Mm.
right? And what do you mean by if something is taken away from you? Everything will be taken away from you. Everything.
And
Everything, sooner rather than later, right? So good luck coming up with an explanation for everything. Was it meant to be taken away? All the best. There's no point going down that rabbit hole because there's no answer, right? If something comes into your life, does it come with a guarantee? Is there a contract signed between you and nature? Have you taken Ankit on how many year lease have you taken Ankit on? 100-year lease. We wish, we hope he outlives you, but
yeah,
there's no guarantee,
there's new.
right? So there's no such thing as, oh, it was meant to be taken away from us, or we are meant to be, you're meant to be detached from everything. You're meant to look at everything as a beautiful play, a leela,
Hmm.
right? So you're meant to be detached from your wealth. Meant to be detached from your relationships. You're meant to be detached from your knowledge. You're meant to be detached from your own personality, from your own finger, for starters. You're meant to be detached. Hmm?
Hmm.
There are
So
people who they develop a certain fever and they get into so much tension. Oh my God, what will happen to me? Extreme attachment. Hmm? Extreme attachment. They cut their finger, there's a little bit of blood. Oh, oh my God. Huh? You're meant to be detached from everything. That's the most important lesson of life.
Sir, sir,
When
this is
you
Gaurav.
detach, you enjoy. When you detach, you enjoy. You enjoy everything. That's the paradox. Hmm. Yes, someone was saying something.
Yeah, sir, this is Gaurav, sir. Sir,
Hi,
Ikigai,
Gaurav.
sir, the Ikigai book which is there about Japanese secret life to long and happy life. So they
Hmm.
describe 5 blue zones in the world
Hmm.
where the average life of an individual is above 95 and goes to 120 also, sir. So one
Yeah.
of the basic principles which were they were saying is how close the community and everything are attached together, how they enjoy life and how they are happy, sir. So I mean, what I understand is attachment individually, uh, detached individually, and attached collectively. Is this what? I mean, on a much more broader scale, sir.
No, yeah, I've heard of this concept where those blue zones and people live up past 100. There's one in Japan, one in Italy, one somewhere else. I think one of the things is also connected to nature, also having a sense of purpose. Right? These are all some of these reasons why people tend to live longer. Uh, the word you can give it whatever name you want. Now, when we talk of detachment in Vedanta, we have a very specific definition for it, or attachment, right? So people can use the word attachment in other contexts because it can have certain other connotations, but I'm not sure what they mean by attachment out there. If by attachment they mean having a sense of community and a common shared, a yagya bhav, that, oh, I'm working together. Sorry,
Sharing.
caring and sharing, correct. If I have a idea that, okay, I'm part of a community, I'm a part of a whole, right? If that's what they mean by attachment, then by all means. In Vedanta, when we use the term attachment, we mean the creation of the idea of mindness, ये मेरा है,
Okay,
right?
okay,
And a sense of permanence, ये हमेशा रहेगा.
okay.
That is what attachment means when we use the term in Vedanta, right? So, and that in no scenario is healthy, right? You can develop attachment towards a community, it'll make you a fanatic, right? You say it's my community, my guru, my this, mine is the best. Oh my God, I need to promote this at the cost of others, right? So I'm sure in Ikigai, I think it's Ikigai. I think that's what they certainly don't mean that by attachment, right? So because I don't think that's healthy in any shape or form. Okay,
Can I ask something?
yeah, please.
So right now you told Prachi that you're meant to be detached from everything eventually.
Hmm.
On a personal note, there's something which I like sort of enjoy and which is quite, which I think of as silly as well at the same time. But you know, if when things are sort of fine or something, I'm like, okay, I'll like sort of indulge in it or something at some point. And like sometimes, you go through a thought process, and then I was like, why was I even silly to sort of entertain it, that idea, even though yeah, acknowledge it's really not, uh, yeah, serving any happy.
Okay, what's the question?
The question is like, am I right to be like, yeah, okay, I'm better off without it if it's not really serving anything other than like sort of the pleasure? Like if like some food you enjoy, right?
Yeah.
You, for example, like brownies might be bad for you, but you're like, okay, when I go to some place, I'm going to have this. I have it, but yeah, then suddenly you'll get a blood test or something, and your blood sugar is quite high. You'll be like, okay, why was I having it in the first place? Or why do I
Hmm.
want to have it?
So your question is what? What is the question then? In that case, in that example?
I mean, in that example, then why do I even, if I know I don't want to have the brownie,
Hmm.
and I can do very well without having the brownie, why do
Hmm.
I like sort of, occasionally think like, okay, I want to have that brownie?
You see, there is raga, dvesha, likes and dislikes, preferences. Your body has certain preferences. Your mind has certain preferences. And naturally, based on what your raga, dvesha is, naturally your thoughts will gravitate towards that.
Mhm.
Right? So raga, dvesh, you've come across this term throughout the Bhagavad Gita. It means likes and dislikes. These are mental impressions, right? Either what you like, you will gravitate towards, and what you dislike, you will naturally want to gravitate away from it, right? But then comes your buddhi to determine whether it is helpful, not helpful, to what extent it is, harmful. All of these, right? There's meant to be a sense of proportion which will determine whether you should contact it at all, or whether you should contact it occasionally, or whether it's okay. Also, your place and position in life. If you're living in a society and you are expected to go out once a week with your wife for dinner, hopefully you take her out. You can't be, no, I'm going to stay and not engage anything with the outside world. That's not the life and circumstance that has been given to you. Then you would have become a sannyasi. Then you would have been in, some desolate place, not having to engage with the world. So it also depends on the role you are playing or the role you have taken up, right? Certain people, when they take certain rigid vows, right, when they've taken up sannyas, then they necessarily need to abstain from certain things, right? But otherwise, in such except such exceptional cases, no firm restrictions apply of what you can contact or what you can't contact. What that has to be determined by your buddhi based on how appropriate it is, how helpful or harmful it is, right? And and that's something for your intellect to judge. Otherwise, mm. If you're too attached to something, you won't allow the intellect to process also. You'll mindlessly gravitate towards it or mindlessly gravitate away from it. Mm.
When you know you're too attached
If
to
you're if you're attached to you know uh, f- physical security, giving an idea, right? Even a pinprick might be extremely abhorrent to you. So you'll have a strange phobia for even injections. Huh? And then there's so much of attachment to that. There's so much of a phobia that no matter how many times I tell you the advantages of getting a certain vaccine, you'll be like, no, 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 no. I don't want any vaccine. I don't want any injection. कुछ खाने के लिए दे दो आप मेरे को. Hmm? I'm giving an example that where there is extreme attachment, there's no amount of explanation will also help because the intellect is not functioning. The intellect also can only function when there is some room for thought, some detachment, right? Too much attachment, you won't, and the extent to which you attach, to that extent, you will not be able to comprehend or reason or judge and decide and make a unbiased decision. In fact, you'll use the same intellect to justify why you should do something or should not do something. So to see something from an objective lens, you need detachment.
Thank you.
Okay, verse number 16. ज्ञानेन तु तदज्ञानम् येषां नाशितमात्मनः तेषामादित्यवज्ञानम् प्रकाशयति तत्परम्. But in whom ignorance is destroyed by knowledge, in them knowledge reveals the Supreme like the sun. So we were talking about delusion, right? Those who are veiled by ignorance. You and me, the bhyogis, as Divyaji gave us the term, we are bhyogis, deluded by ignorance, occasionally enlightened momentarily, but largely deluded. Um, Such people remain entangled and caught up in the world, but in whom ignorance is destroyed by knowledge. Knowledge is that lamp which will illuminate the darkness around you. Knowledge is that beautiful transformer. In them, knowledge knowledge reveals the Supreme like the sun. Like the sun, you can. There's a deliberate um, reference to the sun. First of all, the sun is supreme. The sun is all powerful in the context of our solar system. The sun is all pervading. There's nothing, once it appears, there's nothing that it doesn't illuminate. Huh? When the sun is out, you don't complain, Arey, sun, you missed to illuminate this thing. This thing is not getting your rays. No, once the sun is out, it illumines everything that's in its path. So it's all pervasive, which means that when knowledge eliminates all ignorance, or knowledge has the capacity to eliminate all ignorance, right? It's like a complete sort of bath, almost as it were. You're bathed in awareness. So knowledge has that capacity to completely transform you, make you a new person, make you fresh, right? And that is the path that we have to walk. Now, when we say knowledge, we don't mean merely bookish knowledge. We have always said that. Knowledge is the outcome of the yogas, karma, bhakti, jnana, of which intellectual discrimination is necessarily a very important part of it. But so is a spirit of service and sacrifice. So is a practice of devotion and purifying your emotions. It's a complete transformation of the personality. When you get onto this entire program of the yogas, that's when knowledge will percolate into you. And when knowledge percolates into you, that's when it reveals the Supreme, like the sun. It reveals the Supreme means you don't have to go around looking for the Supreme. You have to focus on your yoga. The Supreme is revealed to you. It comes to you. Also, it reveals means It is there. It's just hidden. He's used the word reveals for a purpose. It means it's right there. It's just covered. It's like saying, I am standing under the shade. The sun is right there, but the shade is just blocking the sun from me. If I am tucked away from the shade, the sun will be revealed to me. So the supreme knowledge, enlightenment, God is right here, right now, within you. You don't have to go anywhere for it. You certainly don't have to go to remote places, or you certainly don't have to go anywhere. We go to remote places to get inspiration, nothing else. Huh? And if that inspiration comes without going to the remote place, then there's no necessary need to go to that remote place. But no doubt, certain inspirations can once you go to such places, only they will be felt or experienced. So not taking away anything from some of these extraordinary sites of pilgrimage. And there will be certain pilgrimage sites, certain temples where you will feel particularly connected, and others may not. I have my favorites, you know. I like going on temple tours, temple travels. But ultimately, these places are meant to stoke in you that inspiration, right? It's not that you'll find something there that you that is specifically there. What you need to find is within you. You just have to get the inspiration to move out of the shade, right? So that truth, that enlightenment we're all seeking is within us. It's only meant to be revealed, and it reveals itself when knowledge percolates into us. It's the culmination of our efforts. It's the culmination of our yoga. So he's simply reassuring us in this verse that we don't have to go anywhere or do anything or meet something or find it outside us. The truth we are looking for is within us, and it's something that is revealed to us in time, kalena, in time, when we're ready for it, when we have earned it, when yoga has reached its culmination, right? So you must destroy your ignorance piece by piece, little by little, gradually. It won't reveal itself until ignorance is destroyed, right? You can't pay your way through it. VIP line for the Supreme to reveal itself. There's no VIP line out here. So, yoga chitta vritti nirodha. The beautiful lines from the Upanishad. Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga Sutra. Yoga destroys the ignorance of the mind and the agitations of the. And when it's sufficiently destroyed, or as it gets destroyed, see, even like the sun, if you want to keep taking the analogy of the sun, as it's ready for dawn, first of all, even though there's no sun, there's light, isn't it? For those of you who are awake at 5:30 in the morning, especially in Calcutta, if you're awake by 5 o'clock in the morning. In Delhi, it takes a little longer. In Bombay, it takes a little longer. Before the sun is out, also, you can feel the light, which is why Rabindranath Tagore said, faith is the bird that feels the light and sings. Faith is the bird that feels the light and sings even while the dawn is still dark. Which means that when you walk on this path, even before you have an enlightenment or an awakening, you develop a conviction. It's not a blind faith. Oh, I liked what you said. therefore I'm following it. No, it's a conviction that grows in you. You feel the light. It's almost like the sun has its impact before it actually reveals itself. And then, even as the sun comes out, only a bit of it is seen. So even there's a stronger conviction. There's almost an apprehension. So even though it's revealed gradually, right? It's something that happens step by step. So therefore, in the same Bhagavad Gita, we're told slowly, slowly, shanai, shanai, gradually chip away your ignorance, right? It's a marathon we're running, not a sprint. Without it, we're nowhere. And gradually, with knowledge, we grow. Enjoy the journey. That's all he's saying. Verse number 16. Sorry, 17. तद्बुद्ध्ययस्तदात्मानः तन्निष्ठास्तत्परायणाः गच्छन्त्य पुनरावृत्तिम् ज्ञाननिर्धूतकल्मषाः. With mind and intellect established in that, with that as the supreme goal, they whose sins have been destroyed, they whose sins have been dispelled by knowledge, reach a state of no return. So again, come back to what we were talking in the beginning of the chapter of this funnel, this journey, right? It starts with yoga, it grows into sannyasa, and it culminates in jnanam, right? Enlightenment. So in this journey, what is this a journey of? First of all, it's a gradual establishment of the mind and intellect in that. Does your mind naturally gravitate towards God? Just like a mother's mind naturally gravitates towards her child. From the moment she's pregnant, one fiber of thought is always on the child. I hope it's like that for the father as well. Huh? I don't know. Just like a person attached to money, their mind is always on money. You don't have to, tell them, "Arey, think about this." No. Before you know it, you take them to DLF Cyber Hub and they'll immediate thought in their mind, यहाँ पे rent कितना होगा? यहाँ पे invest करना चाहिए क्या? कितना भाव मिलेगा? कितना appreciate हुआ है? Your mind naturally goes to what you are established in, isn't it? So I don't have to force you to think right now. You can answer the question for yourself. I'm only trying to explain what it means for mind and intellect to be established in that. So gradually you have to make the thought of God your natural disposition. Is your mind and intellect established in that? So the process of yoga makes your mind and intellect gradually established in that. It's a shift. You pluck your mind from the world and you plant it in God. That's yoga. I think we've talked about this parable before. A student asked a saint, what is God? What is enlightenment? I want to get enlightened. Show me the path. What is the path? What is the path? Asked 20 times. The sage didn't respond. The sage was busy gardening. What was he doing? He was taking out saplings from the tray and planting it into the ground. Taking out saplings from the tray, planting it into the ground. So the student, after a point, got annoyed. I've come from so far. You know how many years I have followed you? And finally, I've got the chance to speak to you, but now you're not speaking to me. You're not telling me anything. Hmm. Imagine you come to a class in the morning, you ask me a question, I'm like, naturally, you'll get annoyed. Next class, you won't even come. Nonsense. So, student was feeling like that. Listen, Swami, I've come from very far. Please tell me. Swami wasn't that mean also. He understood that he has to say something. He said, look, I've been showing you for the last 20 minutes since you're asking me. What is the path? What is the path? The path is transplanting your thought from the world and planting it into God. That's the path. So the spiritual journey is a gradual rehabilitation of the mind and intellect. You rehabilitate it. What is rehabilitation? You shift it from one place to another. Hmm? Right now, your mind is completely swimming and drowning in a world of thoughts regarding health, wealth, name, position, status, family, this, that. No thought for God, no time for God. I'm not asking, nobody's begging you to make time. Don't make it look as if spirituality needs you. God doesn't need you. You need God. So nobody cares, particularly no sage cares what you're thinking about. Nobody needs your following. Hmm? God is not a religion is not a it doesn't work on number of active users. Like today nowadays businesses are measured. How many active users are there? Monthly active users. Religion has never worked on this parameter. True religion, true spirituality, not institutional religion. And we all know with Vedanta will never have more than a handful of followers. Hmm. Because most of us are completely entangled. But are you able to shift gradually your mind and intellect and establish in this? What does it mean? That means your predisposition is to think of God. Don't ask me to explain what that means. I can only explain it through an analogy. Right now, your mind naturally thinks of money in any situation. Do you naturally think of God in any situation? That's how you understand it. With that as the supreme goal, nothing else, no other importance. That is what matters. Is this taking me closer to my enlightenment? That conviction, Drid Nishchay. Such people whose sins have been dispelled by knowledge, such people are ready for knowledge. And ultimately, that knowledge takes them to a place of no return. That knowledge sets them on a path of meditation, and in the depths of meditation, they attain enlightenment. Enlightenment is a path of no return, no coming back, permanent change. No more birth, no more death. So you can tell me, Utsav, I want to meditate. Utsav, I want to attain enlightenment. I am no one to say whether you're ready or not, right? But here is a um, clear roadmap and yardstick. Is your mind and intellect established in that? Is that your supreme goal? Those who have reached that state, knowledge nudges them, that last bit, and they attain enlightenment. They reach a state of no return. Once you become a jnani, through yoga and sannyas, when you attain the state of jnanam, when you attain samadhi, when you become a jnani, it's a state of no return. You can never fall back. You won't fall back. It's a permanent change. We conclude with that thought, and we'll start the discussion with verse number 18 in the next class. I'll take up any quick questions if there are. I'm a little mindful. I know we spent like 45 minutes in the beginning discussing questions, but I don't want to overshoot time and go beyond. I know people have other commitments. I don't want to discuss any verses beyond the stipulated time. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask. So naturally, you'll see this chapter is a little more abstract than the previous ones. right? So if you follow that progression of an individual's spiritual evolution, it's reaching out to a person who's at a certain state of evolution, or it's describing a person who's at a certain state of evolution, which may not be as approachable or comprehensible to you and me. But this is how a person is in sannyas. This is how detached one is in sannyas. So if you have a taste for it, I highly urge you to go back, read the commentary. I'm not taking any time to go through the commentary. We're just discussing sort of a verse explanation, but there's a lot in the commentary that I would urge you to go back and read about. And naturally that will, invoke some questions in you. So come back with questions. We'll discuss it in the next class. But for now, thank you so much for joining, and we'll see you again
Hari
this
Om.
following Tuesday.
Hari
Hari
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Thank you so much.